Hey guys, I'm back again. So now I'm inside the app.js and we're going to change a few things. Well, not yet. We still have these components empty. So what I'm going to do is just to come to app.js, copy that and paste it. I'm going to remove all this and I'm going to add a fragment here. Okay, I'm going to remove this. So it's only going to be React right now with fragment. Let me make this bigger. And just a paragraph that says this one is okay. Add post works, something like that. And we're going to change this to be constant add post equals to this function. So that should work. And we export the add post. Okay, so we copy this and paste it, change it to main. Also the export is going to be changed main, and let's say main works, and the same for this, only to get the basic structure. This one is post and this one is post. Okay, so that's that. Now let me minimize that, make this smaller, and inside source we will need to create not a folder but a file, routes.js, so we can start building our routes. So I'm going to copy this. This is just the imports for React and React from React, and switch and route from React Router DOM. And we're going to import now our components using React.Lazy. So this is the way to do it. React.lazy. So this takes a function inside with the import method and components. So this is where our component is stored. So it's inside the components folder or directory, and this is the main component, so we need to call it as it is. And we do the same for the rest of the components. Add post, React Lazy, import from components, add post, and also the post. So we import, or we call this constant post. Okay, now we're going to generate the routes. So this is a function and this is a render. We're going to use parentheses and we're going to say react.suspense. Okay, just to get that. And let's make this bigger. So React Suspense is going to take a fallback. So this fallback is going to be what is going to be displayed while we are waiting for the components to be mounted. So this is going to be a span for now. You can change this to a spinner or anything. Loading, please wait, something like that. And now we're going to use the switch. So switch, and we define the routes saying exact. We want this to be the exact path. It's not like this, sorry, it's exact path. And this is going to be the route. And for this we're going to render something which in this case is going to be our main component. So this takes a function, or this is a function, and it's going to render the main. So we call it as a component, okay, as a tag. So I'm missing the closing, okay. And we do the same for the rest of the routes. So this one is going to be the add post. So that is going to be the route, and we're going to load the add post component, and here we're going to load the post. And this route is going to be a little different because we're going to take an ID, so it's going to be post colon ID. And after this, maybe let me make this smaller. So we're going to say export default routes. Okay, not like that, but okay, routes. And now we need to go to index.js and say, let me just copy that better. It's just the same. We copy this and we paste it. So this is the browser router. We have used this before with routing, and we're going to add inside this React.strict mode browser router as a tag, and we're going to wrap our application inside our browser router so we can use the routing functionalities. Okay, so I'm now on Chrome. Okay, it's not going to show anything because I forgot to come here to app.js and change all this. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit. We're going to remove all this and copy and paste. So we're going to import the routes from our routes, okay, the file we created, and we're going to import the link and use history, that is the hook, from React Router DOM. Now let me just take a look at this. So we're going to remove this, and I'm going to make a div here with class name container. Okay, so it's inside the app, and we're going to add a navigation here. You can add it as a fragment, I don't care. Okay, so this is you can segment your application however you feel. So right now I'm just going to place the navigation here. So list and link to equals, and we close that. So this is going to use the link as the regular React router. So to where we want to go when we click this. So we're going to go to the main route, or to the route, sorry, that is going to be lazy, or it's going to say lazy loading. Okay, yeah, and here inside I'm just going to add, just give me a second, let me copy that and paste it. I just add the link to add post, and it's going to say new post. Okay, let's save this. Okay, let's save it. So let's see. Components, okay, a typo inside the routes, components, okay, components, okay. And you can see we have this. Okay, why is not showing the post main? Oh, okay, because I forgot something. inside the index, not the index, sorry, the app.js, which is our routes. So this is navigation. Below the navigation, I'm going to add the routes. Okay. As you can see, we see the and you see that it kind of flickers with the message that is here, the loading please wait, because this is going to fall back to the span that is the loading. Okay. And once the component is ready to be mounted, or to be mounted, sorry, then it's going to be it's going to take place instead of this span or whatever. You can set a loader there or whatever. So okay, we have that. So what we need next, okay, so we already have that, everything is working, but we can set, or we can fix, well, not fix, but add the functionality here for the button or this link to hide when we go to the new post. We can do that right now. So just give me a second, because we have the post and we have that route too. Okay, so you can see post works. Okay, we can go back and it kind of flickers the message, the loading. So if you have or if your component takes a bit to load, then you're going to see the spinner or the message a little longer. So right now it's only a paragraph, so that's why it's showing like that. So yeah, let's finish this just to get this out of the way. So I'm going to say constant history equals, okay, we're going to use history, the hook, constant. So we're going to generate this path. Okay, I'm not going to type this, I'm going to just copy this just to move faster, because this is something that we have done before. I mean the functionality, but of course we're using now the hook, but we're going to see why we need this use history inside this constant called history. So I also have some functionality that is not even going to work here. So this is going to be the check-in. So you can see that we have this history, and now we can just listen using this hook for the location, and we're going to set the path that is here, okay, to the location path name on which page we are, kinda, okay. So if we are on new post, we're going to get this specific page, okay, or route or location, and we need that to be done every render. Okay, so we're going to use effect in order to check the path. So let me make this bigger in case you can see. And now, okay, so this is kinda, forgot to change this, so I'm going to paste it. So it's just the functionality. Add post page, so this one is working. Okay, so it's not, because we're going to change this. Just give me a second. Add post page, something like that. Okay, in fact it's not something like that, it's actually that. Okay, so this is just a constant that is going to get the path from the state. Okay, you can call it whatever you want. This was being used for the contact. I didn't change the name, forgot about that, so it doesn't really matter now. So we're going to create a new variable that is add post page, that is going to store the link. Okay, you can see that this is a list item with the link to add post, and we're going to check if we are on the add post using the location we have, okay, the listener. So we're going to check if what we have stored in the state is the location, is something else that is not at post, then we're going to show the link. But if it is at post, then this is going to be hidden. Okay, so let's save that and let's take a look. So use state is not, because I forgot to add that. Okay, so use state and use effect. Okay, use effect, Control S to save that. Okay, so we are now here, and if I go to new post, you can see that we are on new post, but the link to that disappears because we don't want to show that when we are in that actual page. So if I go to loading, then that shows, and if I go to post, I don't know, 23, something different. So we're going to load the post, the individual post page, and we're going to show the new post because we care about that. So it's only going to hide when we are inside this page, okay, or this route. So this is something we have done before. The only difference here is that we are using now the hook, which is the use history, and we are listening using the hook, okay, for the location, and that is the only different thing here. So as I said, let's save that. Okay, we didn't do any change there, but yeah, just to be sure. So now what is going on here? So let me just go to network if I can remember correctly. Okay, so let me just refresh this, and you can see what we have loaded here, and we have some chunks. Okay, so now what is going to happen is that when we click a new one, okay, just take a look at what is going to happen here. So let's say to new post, okay, and you can see it loads the chunk, which in this case is the other route, which is coming from at post, or the other component. So which means that whenever we go to a route that is using this lazy, okay, let me just make this bigger so you can see. So when we're using this lazy and we go to that route, if the user haven't seen that, then it's going to download it, okay. But the main thing there is that, let's go to, okay, so we are in main, and now everything is loaded. Okay, so now that we saw that page, is going to stay in the cache, so, or in the memory. So now what is going to happen is that if I refresh, I don't need to load this new post, and also the individual post page. Okay, so the template, I don't need to load that, so it's not going to load, and it's going to be easier for the user to download the application. Okay, so whenever he moves to another route, you can see that is you saw that it was saying loading, please wait. Whenever we go to the other route, it's going to load the other chunk. Okay, so it's going to be easier. So if a user doesn't go to, or doesn't regularly use certain features of your application, it he or she will need to download that when he just first starts with application. So that is that. It doesn't look like a big deal, but if you have a ton of things, then it's going to make your app actually faster for the user. So as I said, if he's not using all of your features, or he's not checking all of your pages or components inside your application, he is going to load the application faster, because he's only going to load what he's looking at. Okay, so that is that. And just let me take a look at, okay, let me make this smaller. So what we have here, so the next thing that we're going to do in the next video is just to start working. Now we have the service. Let me just get that. Okay, we have the service, and we are just going to connect all this functionality to the components and just make it work with the React router. So as I said before, the only thing that we did is the suspense. Okay, I closed that. Is using React.Lazy and React Suspense in order to handle the lazy loading of the components. Okay, so, and the other thing was, let me just take a look. Let me just close all this. We're going to work with this in the next video, so I can close it. And listen. So we are listening using the hook, the use history hook inside this constant history. So we are going to, or we are actually listening for the path or the location on which we are. Okay, so that's the only thing that we do. So yeah, that's it for this one, and see you in the next one.